Hello, welcome back to Burn a Flick. I'm Jonah. I'm sitting here with Eugene and Zach. We're missing Aggie this week.
He's in Miami.
He is in Miami,
I love the holidays.
middle of the holidays. We watched Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai, starring Forest Whitaker, African American mafia hitman who modeled himself after the samurai of old and finds himself targeted to death by the mob.
I want to know. How did you learn about this movie?
I learned about this movie. I was on HBO Max,
Oh.
and I was looking for something to watch, and I was scrolling through, and I saw Forest Whitaker. I'm like, oh, hey, Forest Whitaker, in a movie I've never seen before. I'm like, Ghost Dog: Way of the Samurai.
You gotta
And-
love. Sorry, keep going.
I initially thought this was like almost like a scary movie type of movie, like a parody of movies. I was wrong.
No, this movie
There's something about it.
takes itself quite seriously. Well,
Mhm.
it does and it
to a
doesn't.
point, yeah.
It does and it doesn't. Yeah.
You gotta take it all in stride when it's co-produced by RZA.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, because
RZA.
I know he. Or is it one guy or is it a group? RZA.
oh no, RZA is
RZA's one guy.
One guy from Wu-Tang Clan.
from Wu-Tang Clan.
Okay, got it.
Most of the music was by RZA.
Yeah, music was by
Okay.
him. Music produced by him and co-produced by RZA in 1999.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, that's how you. I thought it was just. I don't really listen to Wu-Tang Clan. I thought I was just assumed it was RZA, but I guess spoken RZA.
The RZA, the
Riz.
Jizza,
Okay.
Method Man,
Mm.
ODB or Old Dirty Bastard,
Yes.
and oh my God, Ghostface Killer
Inspector Deck.
and Spectre Deck.
Damn, how do you guys know all this shit?
Wu-Tang for
Wu-Tang
life.
for life, all right.
All right.
Yeah, so this movie is interesting because it starts out
Yeah.
well, it starts out where I'm like, where is this gonna begin? I feel like the
Mhm.
intro exceeds past 10 minutes,
This movie, I agree.
right?
The movie takes its time.
It takes its time.
Yeah.
It goes by the intro and then starts up in a montage of music where you think, okay,
hmm
okay, the intro's still going. Okay.
Yeah. And it's showing like scenes of, I guess, the city. And I
Yeah.
believe it's an unnamed American city. I believe
Mhm.
that is correct. And by the way, this is directed by Jim Jarmusch. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he directed Patterson, which is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
And he also did this other movie before that.
Not
Um,
not Paddington.
no, not Paddington. Patterson.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Which Paddington
Yeah.
did
And
better
and
than
he
this.
also did Only Lovers Left Alive, my favorite vampire movie. And all those movies, including Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai, all these movies take their time. Jim Jarmusch is a director that likes to take his time.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I do appreciate that.
But there's aspects in this movie where they're taking too much time, I
I
think.
think okay, let's get right to it. I
Yeah.
think this movie is hurt by the low production value.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's what does this movie in. It has a super indie feel. Super indie feel. The way that even like in the beginning when the camera kind of goes onto the rooftop of Ghost Dog's, I guess, home,
His coop.
it's like a handheld camera. It's like someone is walking towards the pigeon coop with
Mhm.
the camera, and then it fades to a proper shot. But then like that initial like walk up with the camera, like the handheld feels like a home movie a bit. It kind of had that home movie feel, and it does that. I think there's one other time it does that. It does that like hand camera thing, and it's not like cool hand camera, like cool shaky cam, like Born Identity. It's like, oh no, this is some dude in a theater with a camera, and he's moving the camera to adjust it to fit the frame. That that happened like twice, and I'm like, oh my god, this is a really low budget movie.
So the movie is okay. Ghost Dog, no real name to him. He just goes by GD or Ghost Dog.
Mm-hmm.
The movie starts with he goes to kill a one mob I guess boss, not mob boss, but like
A made
It's
man.
a
made
made
man.
man
Yeah.
who was with the main boss's daughter.
Yes, which is a big no-no.
It was a big no-no,
Yeah.
but for some reason it didn't work out in his favor.
Mm.
He whacked him.
He whacked him. He whacked him through the door with a silenced pistol.
Yeah, and then Ghost Dog comes through, and then Ghost Dog is like, "Hey, there's another person in here," and then he's like, "Oh, okay, no one instructed me to do anything with another person, so I'm just gonna leave," and he does that. And basically what happens is the mob decides, okay, we hired this guy to kill this made man of ours, but we're not supposed to kill our made men. So we need to make this go away. So let's kill the guy that we hired to kill that guy. And now they want to kill Forest Whitaker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is insane. That seems
yeah.
really short-sighted of them to
It is. Like, wait a second. You guys hired him to do the job that you wanted, but you're also upset about it.
Yeah, you hired a professional killer, and now you want to kill the professional killer.
Especially when the guy who is essentially his handler
Yeah.
said that you don't want to mess with him. Essentially, to put
Yeah, no.
put it in perspective.
That guy's like
He's
the
a-
only guy with brains in this entire organization.
I like how he referred to him as like he's like a ghost.
Yeah.
Like, so what's his name? His name's Ghost Dog.
Ghost.
It's like, oh, so he says he's a ghost, but
Yeah.
you should have just said his name is Ghost Dog in the first place.
Yeah.
We would put the puzzle pieces together ourselves.
Yeah.
He's like a ghost.
And then
Ghosto.
and then they go into this whole thing with like, oh yeah, like the Indians used to have crazy names like Sitting Bull and like Black Coyote and then they just like say more things that are just all right, these are like
They went on
really
like,
annoying.
Yeah, did you
Really
extremely
uneducated,
racist.
super bigoted.
Yeah.
did you also
Um,
notice that one of the guys' name was Snake?
Who? Oh
What-
yeah, they're
like-
making fun
they're
of
making
the
fun-
animal names, but he literally has a snake
Hey,
name.
Hey Joey, Snake, go check it out.
Yeah, no, the movie knows it's when it's being silly, and I think the audience gets rewarded if you pay attention to those
Yeah.
things. One of the things that I don't know if you guys caught, but I caught, all the mobsters, all the bad guys, really love watching cartoons.
Yeah, I noticed
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And the mob boss's daughter, she initially doesn't really pay attention to the TV screen
Mm-hmm.
when the cartoons are on. But at the very end of the movie,
With
when she drives up in that limo,
Itchy and Scratchy.
she is watching Itchy and Scratchy on the limo car to signify that she has become the new mob boss.
Interesting.
Because if you look at the way she's dressed like really nice. She's not dressed like a girl on the run. She's dressed like she's in charge. So, and I believe that is canon. I think that's actually what happens. She becomes in charge. She takes over.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah,
I
I could see
felt
that.
that too, but I didn't want to believe it.
Yeah.
I think I figured that out when at the end, what's his name was saying, "Hey, can we go yet now?"
Yeah.
And he's asking her to go,
Oh, okay.
and that's what I was thinking. But I didn't actually think it that through, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
You think she swayed that way once Ghost Dog came in during like that? I guess that's not like really the climax of the movie, but
Yeah, because there's still like 30 minutes left of it after that.
yeah.
You mean the climax of when he raids their mansion?
Yeah. Do you think she just like when her dad got shot,
Yeah.
like that was it? Like,
I-
she's like, you know what?
Huh.
I'm a mob boss now.
This is who I am now. I don't know. I thought that the whole tying together the cartoon watching thing with her transformation into the mob boss I thought it was rewarding in that sense where you could understand that, oh, she's a cartoon person now, she's a mob boss now. But on the other hand, I don't think it makes much sense regarding her character arc because she never seems like she's into the whole mob thing. She
Mhm.
just seems like she's just along for the ride and is not having a good time for the most part.
I wonder how she got into play with that other guy, the other made man. Like they were having
I don't know.
sex, or they?
I don't even think she liked him.
No,
It's like,
like what's going on? How'd that even come to
I
play?
don't know. I think that's another quote unquote loose end that kind of just exists in order for the plot to exist the way it does.
Well, do you think
Yeah,
that's the reason why the hit was put out on him?
on the
because he
made
was
man?
because
or...
he was sleeping around with like the main boss's daughter.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I believe that's the whole reason. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
it's weird. A lot of it, and it's too like the reason why he killed everybody is essentially a John Wick thing. There, they killed
Yeah,
my pigeons.
I'm really glad you said John Wick.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like this is where the Bowery started.
The Bowery?
The Bowery in John Wick with Lawrence Fishburne. He's the Bowery. That's the name of his organization.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
Pigeons,
homeless
the
people.
homeless people living on the
yeah. Okay.
And do you think they would have asked John?
You're absolutely right.
Do you think they would have asked Forest Whitaker to play his part instead? Like, hey, you've done it before. You dealt with pigeons a little bit.
Yeah, no, as I was watching this, I'm like, I'm getting major John Wick vibes.
Mhm. That's
Super
exactly
John
what
Wick
was going.
vibes. Like he has a code. His pets die. He goes on a rampage. He's very judicious with his killings. He
Very
really likes animals.
yeah,
Mhm.
He came across those hick hunters
yeah.
with the black bear, and that whole scene is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, these two hick guys are dressed up in like woodland camo, and their faces are painted woodland camo,
Did you know?
which I found strange. I don't think
Mhm.
that's normal, right?
Did you know in some ancient tribes that bears were considered equal to men? Well, this ain't no ancient tribe.
Oh man. And then yeah, he just murks him. I thought that was weird. I don't know how that fit into the rest of the story.
This man turned his back to a guy with a gun to open his door to get a gun.
Yeah.
I like also when he
Yeah.
if you're looking at the view of the gun when he's about to shoot him, he shoots the gun but there's no flash at all, even with the
Oh
silencer.
yeah.
And it was a lagged sound.
I love so initially when he shoots the made man in the beginning when he assassinates him, like there's no like force felt behind the bullets when it impacts the dude's head. It's just like, oh, someone just his paint is just running down the front of his forehead now.
Yeah.
And that just means he got shot in the head.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing that comes out in the back. It's just like paint coming down. Just another detail where I was like, okay, this is pretty low budget. Let's keep rolling here. But, yeah.
The license, we're talking unnamed city. The license plates once at the industrial state.
Oh yeah,
And then
I
the
looked that shit up, dude. As soon as I said that, as soon as it came on, I looked it up, and then I realized, wait, there is no industrial state. And then it comes up again, actually.
He does it multiple times because he remember when he goes to that park with that car to switch out the license plates.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the family that's sitting right there because it's so fast with it.
Yeah.
like a samurai.
And they're just not paying attention.
Like, wait, you see this man
Yeah.
who's switching out his license plate. Look, he dressed nice in a nice car. You don't assume the guy with the nice car is stealing your stuff. What did the other plates say? It said one was the industrial city and one was something else city.
I don't know.
Something else state.
It was something
It
else.
was a red.
though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was afraid that this movie would be like a tongue-in-cheek, like Forest Whitaker's like some weeaboo black dude. I mean, argument can be made that he is kind of a weeb.
Oh my god.
In a little bit,
You-
just a little bit.
You did notice this one thing he does with his guns where he sheathes them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really glad you said
Yeah,
that.
he does.
He would take his whenever he would shoot a gun or he puts
Oh.
it, he unsheathes it essentially like a
Mhm.
samurai sword. It's as if he's throwing the blood off and cleaning off the blade and putting.
Yeah.
He does this.
He
thing,
does the twirl,
twirl.
Mhm.
and then the sound effects are like.
Yeah, he does it so many times.
Yeah.
One time is too many times.
Yeah.
I think they should just not have done that. I think Jim Jarmusch just doesn't understand. His whiteness is showing when things like that are on screen.
I don't know. I
Um,
think an actual weeb being like super deadly with a weapon would do that.
He's actually.
I think
That's-
that's accurate. I think that's
Twir-
super accurate.
Twirl his pistol before he sheathes it
Yeah.
like a
What-
katana.
Listen, like when they're
Yeah.
discussing Ghost Dog, they're like, "Hey, listen, this guy's like a super weirdo. He has like slight BO.
Yeah.
He watches nothing but anime, but he literally can hit like a dude from across the street
Yeah.
by unsheathing
He
his
watches
pistol.
anime and he only reads manga.
Super deadly though.
His entire philosophy is this one manga book.
If he was wearing glasses,
Have you ever seen Chainsaw Man?
Oh my god.
What about that scene where he's practicing his like swordsmanship for about 2 seconds, and then he has a katana,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
he's this big dude with a katana, and just
Yeah.
like, and then it goes to him with his guns or with
Oh,
a
yeah.
machete.
Mhm.
Oh no, his small one.
No,
that's a Tonto, is it not?
No, sorry, he had a longer katana blade,
yeah. He had
and
a
then it went
longer
to the
katana,
shorter one, yeah,
and then it went to the Tonto, yeah.
which
and
he
then-
never utilized those in the slightest. Which
he
would have
didn't.
would
He
have been
didn't.
great to
I think
see.
it would have been cool.
That would have been what you wanted to see,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
When you think of Way of the Samurai, you think the guy's gonna not use guns at one point and use a sword.
His that scene on the rooftop when he's practicing, he actually looks like he knows what he's doing. It doesn't look bad.
Hmm.
For a man of his size to move the way that he did, I think he put in some time and some practice. And disregarding the gun twirling, I think his knife work, his sword plays is quite decent.
Quite
for-
formidable.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about his French friend. He said,
love
"My
his
best
French friend,
friend." He doesn't have a name, right?
I love him.
He didn't.
yes.
He didn't go call him by name.
Frenchie, French ice cream man.
I love how he's like, I don't understand a word he says, but I have a feeling I know what he's
Yes.
talking about. Or he'll say this. He'll say something in French. He's like, are you saying? Or he'll be like, oh yeah, this something about like, oh that's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
Or he'll mention something,
Yes.
and then the guy says it in French, and then he'll just say the same thing in his own perspective.
Yeah, yeah.
Every single time.
The subtitles would be
Mhm.
like, "You feel down. It looks like you're having a bad day." And then like Forest Whitaker's character would be like, "Hey man, I'm feeling down.
I'm having,
I'm having a bad day."
Or he's just like, he's like, "What, you got some business to take care of?" And then they keep talking. He's like, I gotta go, let you go. I got some business to take care of.
And then in French, he's like, "Oh, I guess you have to go, and you probably have some business to take care of."
Yeah.
I love the fact that they can communicate without communicating.
She's like,
It's
"You-"
very endearing, and we kind of needed that in this
Mhm.
movie.
He asked the ice cream guy, the French dude, just asked him, like, the Perline.
Oh yeah,
Like,
Perline.
do you speak French? No, and it's like, and it's like, well, it'd be really good if you did, because I'd learn English way easier. Do you understand what I'm saying? No, not a goddamn word. I like that character a lot.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. I didn't see where it's going. I like how he
I-
has the gun. Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
He knew it was gonna happen. I realize now.
What do you mean?
Remember when he at the end in the right at the end, he
Yes.
turns around and says, "Turn around," and then he sees the gun. He takes the gun at him, unloads the bullets, puts it in a briefcase, because he doesn't want his boss to die.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Because he would have, if he saw him shoot him, because he knew he was going to die there.
yeah.
Because in the beginning, it tells you to rip apart meditate to know that to rip apart your pain and then the fear of
Yeah.
dying,
Yeah.
so that if you do die, you can
And he also said the thing about like a samurai, like when
Always-
his head is cut off, he performs one final act with determination or
Yeah.
something along those lines.
To the,
So,
to
like-
the fullest extent.
Exactly. Yeah. So Ghost Dog was performing his final act by, whacking all the mob bosses, knowing that his head was, quote unquote, his head was about to be cut off. Like
Mhm.
his boss would be bound by honor to avenge his boss, which means he had to kill Ghost Dog.
Which he was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, he could have easily killed him.
Yeah. Oh,
easily.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I thought when he shot him in the right shoulder,
Yeah.
he was just, I'm just gonna shoot you back in the same way
Oh.
to unmark him as like, hey, you're free or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it also says like a samurai will always
like respect or honor
and respect the
the retainer.
and listen to the retainer or his boss.
Yeah. Yeah.
The retainer is also in because if you look at the Hakaguri, how do you say it?
Yeah.
It's Hakaguri, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
That's like it was a book written in the 1700s
Mm.
by this known samurai talking about his what it was talking about the ways of his retainer, or he was the
Oh.
retainer of another man.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So the retainer thing was an actual word utilized by samurais.
Yeah. Okay. That makes
Um,
sense.
I didn't read the book, and now I'm kind of interested because it was like essentially
1700s.
1706, I think.
Okay. Now that I think about it, like samurai didn't really pop up till like
The 1800s.
yeah or no. What? I don't
Sorry,
know.
well-
when did samurai? I don't know anything about Japanese history.
Well, I know. I think it was closed off for a while, and then
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
when when we strolled over there, it's like, oh, who are these guys?
Just
There's a
watch
bunch
the
of,
last.
There's a
Samurai.
bunch of weebs over here.
We should never let white people come to Japan. Now look at us.
Hmm.
We've made
Yeah.
all of them. All of the set. What is it? Japan producing 80% of the world's weird stuff since 1930s.
It's somewhat mainstream now, so
Mhm.
like Japanese culture has infiltrated.
Or influenced, better say.
Yeah.
No, infiltrated. It's they did it on purpose.
So
it's a scheme.
you said you would like to read the book.
I have a feeling I'd like to read some passages from it. It sounds interesting. I obviously read all the main parts of it from the movie.
Yeah. Would you want to become a samurai and adopt that into your like normal like day to day?
Only if I can sheath my gun.
Only if you can twirl your gun.
Did you notice? So
Sword.
most of the passages in the beginning of the passages were read by Forest Whitaker, but in between were actually read by RZA.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't even
didn't-
notice
I
the
didn't pick that
difference
up.
in voice.
Yep, and at the
really?
And at the end, it was Forest Whitaker speaking because you see the guy that he walked up to in the camo. That's the
Mhm.
RZA.
Yeah.
Oh,
He is also a ghost dog.
the other dude. He was like the dude he met in the street and like kind of saw as an equal.
Yep.
As another person, another like quote unquote hitman.
Yes.
Okay, that's RZA.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
And apparently, my assumption is Ghost Dog wasn't the name. It was just what they
Oh.
see themselves as.
Okay.
I assume.
Their position.
Their position,
or their-
maybe?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that's why I'm saying it says on the subtitles, Ghost Dog speaking or narrating.
Huh.
And I think, oh, that's the RZA. I can tell the RZA's voice because you can tell the way he speaks.
Okay.
And it's obviously he made like 3 of the songs are on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like how that mob boss was really into rap music. He's
really
talking about
Oh yeah.
Public Enemy and
Flava Flav.
Flava Flav.
By the way, the way that he died,
I like that. I thought it was very creative.
I guess I just don't think it's realistic.
Well, I don't think there
No.
was there white traps back in the 90s.
Well, in this movie, in that house, no.
No, there was not a white trap in that
There's
house.
Not a single check valve in that system. Just a straight shot. It's like Sand 3.
What
It's
the-
Sand 3, basically.
It is Sand 3.
Straight from the pipe to Forest Whitaker's gun.
Can you imagine that's a great way to kill like a terrorist on your boat. Just hop in Sand 3, hide
Oh
in
my
there
God.
until he's taking his shit.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I don't know how you'd pitch that to upper chain of command. Like, listen, I saw this movie once. I'm gonna take this pipe off. And I'm gonna aim it up, and then when he's shaving,
you gotta understand he's eventually gonna have to take a shit one day.
Yeah.
If I shoot him in the asshole, it goes right at his head.
Oh, man.
Perfect. No, I mean
Yeah.
the movie it takes itself way too seriously. I think.
I think it does take itself seriously, but it also there are obviously the French and English interplay. It knows it's kind of joking there. The whole thing with the gangsters watching cartoons, the movie knows it's kind of like throwing a little joke in there.
Yeah.
But a lot of the other stuff, yeah, it does take itself very seriously. It approaches the samurai code, the hakaguri or whatever. It takes that seriously. Forrest Whitaker's own first philosophy and his skills and his motivate takes that very seriously. I don't know. I think it does come off a little dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. It does come off a bit dry. I appreciate the earnestness of this movie. I feel like Jim Jarmusch really tried to make something. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this. It's not in the wiki. I actually watched a GQ interview of Forest Whitaker of his entire career and Ghost Dog. He talked about Ghost Dog. Ghost Dog was written for Forest Whitaker. Forest
Yes.
Whitaker
Yeah.
and Jim Jarmusch were buddies, and they would just hang out. And then Jim Jarmusch was like, "I'm gonna make a movie, and you're gonna be in it." And then Ghost Dog. Forrest Whitaker was like, "Okay." And then like, however many like years or months later, Jim says, "Hey, I have a movie for you, and you're gonna play this guy named Ghost Dog." And that's how it came to be. So that role was specifically catered to Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah. If Forrest wouldn't take the role in the movie, we wouldn't have seen the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, if he wasn't in it,
Mm-mm.
He's
The entire-
so good though.
the entire time
Yeah.
I agree. The entire time I'm thinking, could they have just had somebody else? Imagine a lot of movies that did bad because of casting, and
Yeah.
then you think like what if they a movie that did bad, and then the entire time you're thinking about the movie not because of how it was portrayed, but because the people they put in the movie.
Well,
Mm.
think
Imagine
of
really bad movies that could have been actually good with the right casting.
honestly, I don't think anyone
Oh, yeah.
other than Forrest Whitaker probably could have pulled this off because I think, like you said, Jim Jarmusch wrote
Yeah.
this in Forrest Whitaker in mind,
Yes.
and then like this was made in '99,
Mhm.
so the big like African American actors at that time would be like
Oh, like
Denzel,
Wesley Snipes,
Wesley
Wesley Snipes.
Snipes, Will Smith.
He's already
Will
doing
Smith.
Blade anyway at this point.
Yeah.
Um,
Did Jamie Foxx blow up? No, he didn't blow up around this time. I feel like.
I thought
No, when did he do Ray? Was
That's
it Ray?
that was
2003 maybe?
2000s.
Okay, he blew up later.
because he was
had
in a TV show,
He had a sitcom, I think, in the '90s,
what, Living Color.
if not in the
Oh,
2000s.
Okay, I
It
didn't-
actually had that was a Wayne's brother TV show
Mm.
that had Jim Carrey in it.
Hmm.
Living Color.
Oh, it could have been one of the Waynes.
yeah.
It literally could have been one of the Waynes. It could have been.
Yeah.
I don't know because they would have had to sell it as some sort of comedic undertone because you couldn't assume
Yeah.
that would have been. It's one of those movies
Well,
where
here's the thing.
it's hard for an actor to break typecasting.
I don't think
maybe.
what I really like about this movie is Ghost Dog can be anybody.
Yeah.
And they could have cast they could have cast a white dude and I think the movie would have worked. They could have cast an Asian guy, it would have worked.
Yeah.
Forrest, I really liked how in the quiet parts of the movie when like he's doing stuff, like he's like I don't know, he's putting together his pistol or he's feeding the bird. Like there's a really great video about Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul about characters in process, which is something Vince Gilligan does really well. Like he shows characters as they're doing something, as they're assembling something, as they're like scrambling to put something together. Like he's really good at that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that's normally not interesting. For example, like Mike in Better Call Saul, Mike is taking apart the car because he thinks there's a. But it spends an inordinate amount of time. He's in this
whole
junkyard
episode.
taking apart a car, and like a regular Hollywood exec would be like, "This is stupid. This is boring. No audience would want to see this." Right? But Vince Gilligan, he loves to show his characters in process. And when you're a viewer watching it, it's actually really interesting. Like, you don't know why. Like, Mike's taking apart this car, and I think I know why, and it's taking a long time, but I just want to keep watching.
It's something
And-
you also expect from that character.
Yeah.
He's very meticulous.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's the type of guy who takes his time.
Yes.
So you're gonna do nothing less than that.
Yes.
Right?
Or Jimmy when he's, being a Cinnabon manager, doing Cinnabon manager things. Like all of those, like, putting the in the mixing machine, like putting the dough in there. All this shit in process. Jim Jarmusch also shows Forest Whitaker in process. And I just found it really interesting. I actually preferred to watch Forest Whitaker do things in process than him shoot people. Because every time he would shoot people, it would be like, boop, and then like blood would come down. And like, okay, I guess that guy's dead. I just thought it was so funny every time he shot someone. I just couldn't take that seriously.
I liked his character and how procedural he was.
Yes.
Like it's something I like to see, because he goes to that house where he kills the final boss, right?
Yes.
And he gets out of his car in the rain. Where
Uh-huh.
they talk about the rain, hey, if you get wet in the rain, you're gonna get underneath the eaves and still get soaked.
Okay, yeah.
They're talking about that, and he gets out of the water and going step by step because he knows he's what the end is going to be. Then you see the garage open with the car going underneath, but he realizes what the step he had to go through. Like, he had to go to the easy opening first, but he goes up to the steps, the stoop of the house, and goes to the window and tapes up the window, where he cuts off his
Oh yeah.
his cable,
Mhm.
and the guy's like, "Oh man."
Yeah.
And he puts
yeah.
a tape on the window to
Yep.
produce even more shatter.
Yes. Yes.
And then shoots him, and then goes back
Yes.
underneath to finish up the job. Because he thought about it, right? He probably already knew what he had to
Very-
do. Thorough,
Very methodical.
methodical.
thorough.
Yes,
Mhm.
actually, that's the word I was looking for. Methodical.
And he doesn't. There's no hastiness to it. He doesn't seem like he's in a rush. He's always in control. And obviously, like, the movie is filmed and like designed to make the character come across that way. So you can make the argument that, oh, that's all manufactured. Yeah, sure, it is manufactured. But when I'm watching it for the first time, I'm thinking, wow, this guy really knows what he's doing.
Mhm.
And I think that's a testament to the movie, testament to his acting. But I still think a lot of the low production stuff. Oh man, it really hurts the movie. It makes it hard. It makes it hard to stand up in 2022, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Personally, for me.
Oh yeah, of course. What about dialogue? How do you feel about dialogue?
Well,
Was it too little for the main character, or just enough?
I think Ghost Dog is not supposed to be a big talker, so him not talking much, it's fine with me. He's a man of few words. And when he does talk, because of the fact that he doesn't talk, when he does talk, there is a sense of gravitas to it. And Forrest is really good at delivering that. He's very good at that. And he also says a lot with his body language and with his face and just like with his presence. Again, I guess that's just acting. I don't know how you can manufacture that. That's just acting. It's really good acting.
Yeah.
The gangsters. Literal cartoons.
Oh yeah. I think they were meant to be.
They watch cartoons and they are cartoons.
Mhm.
I don't. What is that guy in the hat? Who is that guy?
Which guy in that? Oh, are you talking about?
The gangster guy in the hat who's racist? I mean, they're all racist, but like the
Like
gangster.
the super racist.
Yeah. What is his role? Like, who is he? Like, I don't know what he is.
Old mobster.
You're talking the guy who
old
kept
mobster
saying,
number 2.
saying,
Old mobster number.
passenger pigeon. Oh,
Oh my god!
passenger pigeon.
He was they're extinct, or what did he say?
1914 extinct.
Like, what the fuck are you saying? Like, what is happening?
It's a passenger
What are-
pigeon.
What even are these mobsters? They're
This bird. And what's the what is it? Species by example? Or I don't know, a pigeon or something. One of those postal pigeons. Like passenger pigeon.
Oh my-
Extinct 1914. It's like, all right, relax.
Shut up.
Go
guy.
get some tapioca, old man, all right?
Oh man, I was very I breathed a sigh of relief when Ghost Dog killed that guy.
What about interesting.
Yes.
Well, maybe not as interesting as I think, but when at the end his retainer
Mm.
shot him and killed Ghost Dog, and Perline picked up the empty gun
Mhm.
Oh,
and
yeah.
shot at him,
Yeah.
it looked like he died a little bit. Like remember he reacted after he got
Oh,
after she pulled the trigger.
I don't think I noticed that.
Mhm.
He reacted either maybe out of fear or there's something symbolic out of it
Yeah.
right before he went in.
Hmm.
Or
Do you guys think Perline will take up the mantle and be the next Ghost Dog?
he did give her the Hakagure
Yeah.
She was
read,
reading.
and she was reading at the end.
Yeah. Do you
She was
think so when she picked up that empty gun, do you think she took it home?
Shit, man, I would.
Yeah.
Wow, look at this weapon. Mommy, look what I.
Where was her mom during that?
Right, I don't no clue. No fucking clue. I don't know.
I
Maybe
think if my kid was alone in the park and shots are fired, like, maybe I should find my kid. Oh, my kid! Oh, my kid's standing in the street next to a dead guy with a gun. Maybe my kid shot that guy.
Also, let's not forget this is the second time she's actually met him.
Yeah,
The second time.
yeah.
Oh yeah. That is true.
He's only met her twice.
Once to have a short conversation and let her borrow the book,
That he borrowed.
and he doesn't meet her again till the very end. Interesting.
Maybe that's why that mobster's daughter became a mobster, is because she didn't get her book returned.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
I know. I'd kill.
It's a revenge story.
Yeah, that's why Ghost Dog got killed.
Yeah.
What about when they're driving from the house and the guy's dying in the car and the cop stops him, and then
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
what the hell? You just shot her. And like like, why are you such a chauvinistic male pig? I shot a. It's like you shot a broad. Like I shot a cop. You want to be treated equal. I shot a cop. Oh. You chauvinistic male pig.
I think it's funny that it's there. I don't know why it's there.
didn't need to be.
It's kind of like the same thing with the Hick Hunters.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand that. Like, what American city are they in where they have Italian gangsters, but also like Southern Hicks that hunt bear in full camo with face painted camo? Like, what part of the United States is this?
Maybe when they went away, they went to upstate New York or something like that. And then he's coming back because he did say he was driving. Like, I need to stretch my legs. Right? He went on a long trip.
Oh,
He's probably upstate New York if you're thinking about it, or maybe Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is known as
Pennsylvania.
be like the industrial state of the country.
Yeah,
Maybe it was Philly. Maybe they're in Philly.
Yeah, and then he went to the Poconos.
And then he went to the Poconos. I feel like the movie hits and misses at so many points by trying to be progressive with the whole like shooting the female cop, the whole Hicks, and really heavy-handed. It was big and black and we wanted to kill it. Like
Wait, it's like you're saying that since you see it,
it's very like they're really not being subtle. It doesn't feel like it's hitting the mark.
Maybe
when
the
it
director
comes to like a progressive message. I can see there is a form, like a nebulous form of a progressive message kind of like sprinkled in there, but it doesn't really make sense. And
or the director's like, we're running out of time. We need some comedic relief.
just throw some racists in there and we'll kill them.
We'll kill them.
It's like, okay. That doesn't make your movie better.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
try it. We'll do it anyway.
Um.
Well, I mean, this film
Yeah.
it had me, and I think a lot of it, the music, they really portrayed a lot of like the music that the theme song of the movie.
Oh, that one beat.
Yeah,
The
that
intro
one- the
beat
intro
that kind
beat.
of like comes in and that comes again every so often.
Every single time he's
Yeah.
driving, and then you know what he does when he unlocks the cars and steal the cars with that machine he uses.
Oh yeah.
He'll take a CD, but he'll flip the CD twice.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Wait,
he's
are
like-
you
Oh, no.
serious? I didn't even know.
he goes like this and then flips it back again, and then puts it in, and a new song every single time.
What the fuck?
And he put the windows down and blast and raises it up.
Huh. All right.
I watched the movie twice, so I was able to notice that.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah. No, I didn't pick up on that.
I didn't. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
Of course, I watched the movie a second time because I wanted a better view of it, and this second time I paid more attention to it though.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it had me. The music is interesting enough. I feel as though
Yeah.
it had me.
I thought that was because
It's not that it was a memorable, soundtrack or anything like that.
yeah.
It was just a gripping tone and beat to it.
It carries the mood of the story perfectly.
Yeah.
And it's not overproduced.
No.
Imagine this movie with like a big orchestral score. It'd be weird.
Yeah. I
Or
wouldn't-
imagine this movie with like, I don't know, like Fast and Furious, like really high, like intense, like action movie music. No, that wouldn't work either.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Like this requires a more subtle, a more low key, lo-fi track.
It required
Yeah,
RZA.
yeah, required.
required.
Really,
the-
honestly, anyone from Wu-Tang Clan, I think, could have done this.
Mm.
What everybody knew him.
Mm.
Ghost Dog. Remember,
That's
everybody knew him.
true. Yeah.
Everyone, hey, how you doing, GD? The rappers, the guys who
Yeah.
were freestyling in the park, and he's watching.
Yeah.
And then we think that I thought there was something going to happen. I thought they were just going to I thought there's going to be an altercation of some sort because that's how movies are.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it turns out no, he has respect amongst everybody.
He's a figure in the community.
But everyone, it's funny. You
Yeah.
can't find out where he is, but so many people in the community know him.
Yeah. Oh man.
Or they said 6 years, or he said 8 years ago, or 6 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
he saw him and he saved this guy from getting beat and killed.
Yep.
And then within those 6 years, he became
An expert
expert. Yeah.
assassin.
assassin?
I
Okay.
mean, it take like not 6-8 months to qualify fish. Like how hard can it be to qualify assassin?
BJ Penn is a mixed martial arts master. He got a 9th degree black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu in only 3 years when it usually takes 10.
Okay, that is impressive.
I mean, I guess people can work hard and become better in
Yeah.
6 years.
There you go. Read that book,
Yeah.
and we'll come back, do this podcast again.
We're going to talk about the Hakagure
Yeah.
and
6 years.
and what is it? The what's that book of war?
Oh, Art of
Art of
War,
War,
Sun
Art of War.
Tzu's Art of
Yeah,
War.
Sun Tzu's Art of War.
Hey, how did you guys feel about those passages?
Interesting. I felt like every
Okay.
passage that became was going to help set the display for the next scene that comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Every passage there, if you notice,
I don't
had to
think
do with the next scene.
I don't feel like every passage did that though. I think some of them maybe it was just because here's my thing with the passages. I think the inclusion of the passages are interesting. It adds it ties the theme of the movie to this whole samurai code thing, which is an interesting motif. And but a lot of the times the passage would come on and I'm just trying to decipher what the fuck I just read. I'm trying to it's confusing. It's like trying to solve a riddle. Some of them are more obvious than others. But I think there were like two or three where I was listening and I was reading through it and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
Hey, the passages were written over almost 400 years ago.
Yeah.
And you had maybe 20 seconds from when it was showing on the screen to understand and read what the fuck they're saying.
Yeah, and the effect that has on my viewing experience, that the effect is, oh, this movie is trying to come across as philosophical and deep, but I just think they're throwing passages at the wall and seeing what sticks. That's the vibe that I got from some of these passages.
You're probably 100% correct on that.
Yeah, I agree. That it's either that or you just don't want to be a samurai, which is cool,
Yeah,
which is fine.
whatever, I guess.
Yeah,
It's your prerogative.
but I do agree with you.
No, you're like
Yeah.
I would say I'm gonna say you're probably 100% correct, which sounds like
Yeah.
an oxymoron in a way. So I'm gonna say you're 100% correct on that. I'll speak for the director himself.
I'm correct 60% of the time, every time.
That doesn't make any sense. I don't know what else to say about.
I think I do want to ask you guys pacing. I think we touched on it previously, but pacing.
I thought it was paced fine. I think
Yeah.
because we're talking about taking time. I thought it was paced completely okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We've already talked about the key ingredients of what's missing and what has too much of.
Yeah.
And I think we talk about it takes its time.
Okay.
So I don't feel like there's a pacing issue.
I think it takes its time. I think it's just maybe there's a few extra details they could have left out, like
Yeah.
the scene where he's, he cut down those country bumpkins, and
Yeah.
then
But you did say it seems like a low budget film. Imagine what money could have done for it.
oh yeah,
I think the reason I bring up pacing is because I read some reviews of when this movie just came, like 2000, like a couple reviews that came out in the year 2000, and the main criticism was that the pacing was it was meandering. Some critics felt that the pacing was too long, and it gave the movie a feeling of not knowing where it's going a bit. And I don't entirely agree, but I don't entirely disagree. I think there is a small pacing issue because in a movie that does take its time, which is fine, I love a movie that takes its time. Jim Jarmusch has done movies where he's taken his time, and I love his movies. Patterson, well, I've only seen two of them. I've seen Patterson and Only Lovers Left Alive. And both of them I loved. But the thing with a movie that takes its time, and it's just my opinion, I think if you take even 1 second too long, it becomes really bad. It needs to take its time precisely the amount that it needs to. And if you go a little bit over, the negative effect of that is magnified because the movie is already taking its time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think you're saying that it needs.
Yeah.
There's some parts in which it went overstayed its welcome
Yeah.
for that time.
Because let's say in a faster paced movie, let's say Bullet Train. Let's say, I don't know, in the intro where they introduce the father and that whole like he's in his hospital room, and let's say they take a little too long with the father and like him in the hospital room and looking all distraught. It wouldn't matter because the movie's so fucking fast paced.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if they stray a little too long on a scene because the rest of the movie is moving at breakneck. In a movie like this, where a lot of the shots are very meticulously paced, if you take a little bit too long, it's very noticeable, super noticeable. And particularly the driving scenes. When he's driving at night and it's just his face, I'm like, okay, where is this going? That's my main criticism. I can overlook the cartoony gangsters. I can overlook the really poor production value. That's just a matter of budget. Like, what can you say? But I think the pacing right there, I don't know, it's a little too long.
I could see that. I think a lot of that was just like their transition to like on to the next. It was almost like a loading screen.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also I think it was to tie music in there. I don't know if RZA had problems with that.
Look, I made this music. We're gonna listen to it.
Yeah.
We're gonna listen to the full track. Don't cut any of it.
You're gonna pay me for every single time the movie's played. Yeah, there's changing a little gear here.
Yeah.
Well, not really. so talking about the movie, but remember when his French friend was bringing him upstairs trying to show him something? Did you think that he was gonna like turn on him? Do you think that
No, I didn't think that.
because like, it showed like when they went up the staircase, the door still
Oh.
there, and I thought there was gonna be people come up.
Oh, really?
I thought that his friend was like, "Hey, look at this thing," you know.
Hmm.
And he trusted him, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe I thought for a second that was gonna happen. I was really relieved that they weren't gonna do something there.
Yeah. No, that would have been very jarring.
Yeah. I mean, obviously he would have overcome that, and it would have opened up another thing about
Yeah.
trust in his
Mhm.
in his circle. But he seemed very calm.
Yeah.
Like I feel as though he's like a person like I'm not gonna talk to you or like do anything unless I can 100% trust you, at every like from beginning to end of our friendship. You know. I thought that he was gonna get got or something like that, or his friend was
Really?
gonna turn on him for a second there.
Oh, okay.
I had a small. I had a small thought of that.
A little
then,
doubt creeping.
Yeah, a little bit. I thought maybe you guys would have seen that too, but I guess I was stupid thinking that.
Yeah, you idiot.
Go back to practicing on being a samurai, idiot.
Hagagure. If Aggie was here, he was like, "That's not how you say it. It's not Hagagure." I'm like, "Man, I'll practice phonetics later. I'll figure it out. I'm sorry." I have heard of that book before.
I've never heard of that book.
I have heard about it somewhere.
I have never heard of it.
Somewhere. Can't tell you where I've heard it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, I don't know what else to say. I
Yeah.
feel like I've covered my end on this. Unless you have more stuff to say, I would like to hear more.
Okay. I do have one more thing I want to ask you guys about. So, Ghost Dog. The movie's not really concerned for his safety, right? And the viewer is
You mean safety as a movie itself, or like
no.
character
I'm
safety?
saying like
Ghost Dog himself?
Ghost Dog.
Okay.
The movie's not really concerned with the safety. The viewer is not really concerned with the safety. You know he's not actually in danger. You know that like he's probably gonna murk everyone he sees. And do you think that hurts the movie? The fact that he's not, for example, Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones, like in the back of your mind, you know he's not gonna die, but he gets put in situations that are incredibly tense, and you fear for his safety.
Yeah.
And that obviously that's just Steven Spielberg, amazing directing, but Ghost Dog, the main character, he's not gonna die, but you also never fear for his safety. Do you think that is a missed opportunity with this movie?
Maybe.
I think with this movie, yes.
Okay.
Going back to like how it's like a John Wick type of film, or I guess
Yeah.
John Wick's this type of film.
John Wick is Ghost Dog on crack.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
because I never fear for John Wick's safety, at least at this point.
It's Ghost
Because
Dog with Fast and Furious 5.
yeah, I mean he falls from 2-story buildings on awnings into trash cans, and
Yeah.
he just like walks it off. So I don't fear for John Wick at all at this point, but I feel like for Ghost Dog, I think it does hurt the movie a little bit.
He's almost like a Christ-like figure or a God-like figure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right? Oh, considering his calmness towards everything.
Yeah, and his choice to quote unquote sacrifice himself to his quote unquote master.
I don't think to his master. I think it was just based on honor alone, based on the way.
Yeah,
that
no, but he
described.
wanted to honor his savior, so to speak, because he saved him.
If somebody's gonna kill me, it's gonna be the guy who saved my life.
Yeah,
Makes
yeah.
sense. I can, to be honest, I can understand that.
No, I agree. I understand it. I just think when he's just killing those gangsters, I'm just like, this is so boring.
what do you think he's following the code
Uh,
maybe a little too much to the T?
He's too good of a samurai.
He's too good of a samurai.
Hey man, you're just a regular dude from industrial state.
He needs to be more like Jules from Pulp Fiction. Just say something cool before he kills people.
Come on, man.
Don't actually believe in the stuff he says.
Do me a favor.
No.
I just unsheathed my gun because it looks cool.
That's not what I'm saying. No. What I'm saying is, let's say a 2022 remake, the Netflix remake of Ghost Dog. Instead of Forest Whitaker, I don't know, they'll cast like Michael B. Jordan or something.
It might be the little girl. It might be a sequel.
Oh, okay. Cast Zendaya as the little girl.
She would be terrible on the role.
I don't think
Sure.
I couldn't see it.
Um,
I know it was a joke.
but what was I saying? I was saying I think if we brought this movie to 2022 with a bigger budget, I think we could do something really substantial.
Mhm.
Like we can have John Wick level of gunplay, which is always cool. But don't make it so tongue in cheek as John Wick, and don't make the main character literally on a killing spree where he's unstoppable, because I don't think that's interesting.
Yeah, you want somebody who's like,
Yeah,
I'm not trying to watch a movie about God as a samurai.
yeah, but the whole Japanese honor system, samurai honor, Bushido system, it's a really interesting system.
Mhm.
And bringing that to a, I guess, Western setting, always interesting. Always interesting. I think a remake could be super cool. I think,
Yeah, yeah.
but Jim Jarmusch doesn't do remakes, so that's not gonna happen.
There are plenty of times where a second director has who directed. They'll end up changing very big aspects of it, but like they did in with Total Recall. Like, Total Recall, different director, but they had the
you
same.
mean the remake of
Yeah.
Total Recall?
It was like the
With-
same. They had the same thing going for it, but completely.
The one without Arnold?
Yeah, where
Yeah.
they're
Is it
not in
even-
Mars.
Is it even Total Recall if Arnold is not in it?
He could have
is-
been like a security guard, like Lou Ferrigno in The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm ready to do our rounds.
yeah, I'm ready to
Wrap it
rock
up.
too.
Yeah.
You want to start? Me, you? What's going on?
Yeah, you
I'll
go
start,
ahead.
I'll start.
You go ahead.
I feel like I never start anyway, so I'll take initiative.
Take it away.
So this we talked about this movie's pacing. Pacing. I know exactly what you're saying.
Mm.
Like how taking too much time on one thing, even for a movie, it takes its time and is aware of that.
Yes.
You're right. It can be harmful
Mm.
because it takes too much time on one aspect. It takes away from things that need it more.
Mm.
If I'm understanding what you're saying is kind of what you're saying, or
Yeah.
it could be detrimental to the outlying, like the rest of the plot or rest of the dialogue going on with it.
Mhm.
Now, I like the music. That's why it was gripping, and I actually didn't feel like I'm being distracted by other things.
Yeah.
So it helped me stay on track with the movie. I'll say this: I will always like Forest Whitaker and everything he does.
Mhm.
I like his movies. Like another, I think the last movie that I saw him in, and correct me if I'm wrong, was Rogue One. That was the last movie I saw him in.
Mm.
Have you seen Arrival?
Oh yeah, I actually never finished Arrival. I watched it. I thought it was good. I never got to finish it. I
Oh.
never got to finish it because I just never got to finish it.
I thought Arrival was like
Not because
almost like
I-
Contact, or basically it was Contact.
Essentially,
You should finish.
no, I know it's a good movie. It's not because I was
No,
like,
no. You don't know.
what I'm saying.
You don't know. So like you say, oh, it's a good movie because like the reviews are good, but you don't know why it's good because you haven't finished
I've
it.
seen half of it.
You don't know.
I know it's
Just finish it.
It's Amy Adams and
Just finish it.
all right, I'll finish it.
Yep.
But but all those aspects, the reason why I like it, I thought it was funny when in some cases I like the characters that they gave in. I like I really like the French guy the most, to be honest. He was like a big graceful character of the movie. We didn't really spend too much time talking about it, and I realize it. We talked about it enough.
Mm.
So for me, I'm gonna give this movie. I'm gonna give this, to be honest. Like there's other things, the reason why that I wasn't a big fan of, but I'm sure I don't want to take it away from you guys to talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 6.8.
Okay. It's very specific. Okay.
6.8. Yeah. If Aggie was here, he'd probably be a
You're
little
like,
upset.
oh, you give it a 7. You give it a 6.5. What are you doing?
Aggie always fighting for our movies.
I like this movie.
Mm.
I think I went into it not expecting. I didn't expect much But like you said, Forrest Whitaker, I haven't really seen a role that I didn't like him in. Um, at least yet.
I haven't.
I have not.
Mm.
Um, and then it was a really cool surprise to see that RZA was doing the music. Um, I like almost everyone from Wu-Tang Clan, so that was really cool. Um, the movie definitely suffered from low budget. There was
Yeah.
like several scenes, like him breaking into the cars. It was just kind of it it detract from, I think, the feel of the movie a few times. The whatever gadget he was using to get into the car, it just I
The,
don't know.
the
I want-
Grand Theft Auto 2000.
Yeah, it really took it out for me. I'm like, I'd have to give this one a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I'm also giving it a 7. And basically, you guys all said what I feel. Pacing had some problems there. Now, the cartoonishness of the gangsters, I'm not gonna knock it against the movie because I think it actually helps the movie. It brings an entertaining factor to the movie, because the movie does take itself very seriously in certain points and with certain themes. Uh, some of the design choices of the action, um, whether that was due to low budget, whether it was just someone's choice. I'm not going to say which is which, but some of those decisions I don't think were good decisions. Twirling the gun into the holster, not a good decision. There were some scenes that I don't know why they exist. I don't think they help the movie, so I don't know why they exist. The hunters, the hunter scene with the black bear, that scene, um,
Irrelevant.
yeah. Uh, anyway, Forrest Whitaker, he does a lot of acting without saying a lot of words, which is always a plus
Goes so
in
far.
my book. Um, yeah, and the side characters very enjoyable. Perline, Ice Cream Man, I love him. And I even like his savior guy, the his master, quote unquote. I feel like that guy has the most brains out of anybody in the gangster club, um, and yeah, um, characterization a plus. So that's pretty much why I'm giving this a 7. I did enjoy a lot of it. There are a lot of but there were also a lot of points where I was questioning it. So I think that's where we are.
All right. So overall, we got ourselves a 6.9 on
Nice. 69.
the 69. Yes,
I-
on the
Nice.
burn a flickometer.
All right.
So now is your turn, Em, to choose the movie.
Yes, it is my turn.
Choose the
And
flick. Sorry.
I'm gonna pull a Jonah, and I'm gonna give you guys a choice. So I was thinking of either doing House of Flying Daggers. I don't know if you guys have ever heard or seen it,
Never.
I've heard of it, never seen it.
or Blind Spotting. I don't know.
Blind spotting. I've heard of that.
Okay.
Blind Spotting, that's Ewan McGregor, right?
Nope.
That's train spotting.
Oh, Train Spotting. Ah.
What? Which one is the red pill? Which one is the blue pill?
I'd say Blind Spotting is the red pill. House of Flying Daggers, blue pill. Red pill in the Matrix was the truth, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'd say Blind Spotting is the red pill. House of Flying Daggers is the blue pill. Do you guys know what any of these are?
No, I don't.
Okay, all right, yeah.
But you know,
House of Flying Daggers, that's martial arts.
That is,
I know that's
it's a
martial
Chinese
arts.
martial arts movie, yes.
Okay. And then I don't know what if
Blind
if it's
Spotting?
not Train Spotting.
It's
then
not Train
I
Spotting.
don't know what it is.
It's called Blind Spotting. Came out in 2018. Relatively recent release, if you think about it in the grand scheme of all movies that have ever been released. But yeah, Red pill, blue pill.
Honestly, from watching The Matrix so many times, I'll never choose the red pill. Honestly, that sounds like the worst. Like, why would anybody want to not live?
You're
in
a
that
red
world?
pill guy, or what?
I'm a
about-
blue pill guy.
Oh, you're a blue pill guy.
I want to stay in the Matrix, my
Oh,
friend.
okay. You're a blue pill guy.
I'll go blue.
Blue. All right. We're gonna do House of Flying Daggers.
House of Flying Daggers. All right.
So-
Also, for last things, while we're outroing here,
Yes.
passenger pigeon.
Passenger pigeon.
It was they went extinct in 1914. See you later.